Welcome to another Koala Wallet AMA. Today we're celebrating Shardeum's Incentivized testnet launch with ecosystem friends. This conversation was recorded live on X Spaces on July the 11th, 2024. The views and expressions in this AMA do not necessarily represent those of Koala Wallet. They should not be considered as financial advice. Please ensure you conduct your own research on the projects presented. Also, don't forget to subscribe and like the video to support the channel. Now, let's get started and enjoy.
Who do we got from ice cream here today? And what are you selling? What are you vending? Where's the gelato?
Yeah, so I'm Simon. I'm the founder of Ice Cream Store. I worked on a trading floor, actually, of one of the world's biggest trading floors as an algorithmic trader. And yeah, there I found DeFi and at the beginning, big inefficiencies actually that DeFi had, but also the big opportunities. And so I founded Ice Cream Store to basically remove some of these inefficiencies and increase the opportunities. What we are doing is we are an AI-based DEX aggregator. That means we scan the entire liquidity on the chain and then we find the best ways to do trades on that chain. So we are essentially the booking.com of DEXs, the one place where you need to go to make any swap. And underneath, we then not only utilize our own DEX, we utilize all DEXs on the entire chain and find you the best way to do the swap, saving you a lot of money, hopefully, along the way.
And how long have you guys been working with Shardeum and building on chain?
We are one of the, I think, very early Shardeum partners, basically.
Early OG. Ice Cream Store has been with us since the very beginning. I just wanted to shout out that you guys are super OG. So thanks again.
Yes, it was really cool also to see the process. So we were there since the beginning, and everything that changed and all the improvements that Shardeum had, we saw them live. It was very exciting.
Incredible. Very happy to be here with you, an OG in the space of Shardeum and the booking.com of your DEX swaps and swap needs. Push protocol. We're taking it to you next. Who do we have from the team? And we pushing, I guess, is accurate to say you too?
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. My name is Pranshul Rastogi, currently leading the head of ecosystem and integration at Push Protocol. We basically is a Web3 communication layer where you can send notification, chat, video, all those communication part in the Web3 space, and glad to be here.
Well, your mic is definitely sounding excellent for someone in communications and messaging and more, and I'm sure you'll get that message across today in the AMA. If anyone wonders why I'm being so hokey and excited with, only 19, 20 people here, it's because we record all these, we put them out on YouTube, on TikTok Shorts, on much more, and we disseminate the information. So I'm talking right now to thousands of people who are going to be excited to explore Shardeum, Koala, Mycel, Ice Cream Sauce, Swap, Push Pro, and so much more. We're going to keep going with our last and last but not least partner, Mycel. Why are you here? What are you working on? Who do we have from the team? Do we have anyone from Mycel up here? We have the main account.
Hey, GM.
There we go. GM.
Actually, we started as a merchant compatible ID. Now we have become a decentralized platform that enable the transfer, management, and trading of various accounts across different blockchain platforms. Users can create transferable accounts that we call it TA that combine their own accounts with a threshold signature scheme, TSS, signed by Mycel's validators. With Mycel, you guys can exchange assets across different blockchain platforms, transfer assets on any chains from smart contracts or rollups on any other chains, buy and sell accounts tied to specific activities. My name is Gohei, co-founder of Mycel, by the way. I'm glad
Thank
to
you so much,
be
Gohei.
here.
Thank you. Well, I think we're going to take it right back to Tyler, as we should definitely learn a bit more about Atomiums as a test net and how you're incentivizing the development that's taking place. So maybe you can give one line on Shardeum, why, when it was founded, and then how we got here to the Atomium incentivized testnet, and what's going on today on the chain. And of course, we're going to keep this flowing, so we'll go from person to person. I'll try to direct the conversation as to some questions, but we'll just keep it moving. So why, when, how, and what's going on?
Excellent. Yeah. Thanks again, Kobe. And great to hear everyone's introductions. Thank you again for joining us. So Shardeum is a EVM layer 1 blockchain. So in an era where there's so many chains, where there's simply too much, it seems, everyone's trying to approach scalability and mass adoption in their own unique way. And I think overall, this is a good sentiment of people experimenting, trying to create new pathways forward, because there is no one size fits all. It's just whoever gets there and whoever, which kind of team makes it, and just making things happen, So Shardeum is actually striving to create the first linearly scalable blockchain. So what I mean by that is that with existing chains today, when we approach scalability, the primary approach is to expand the max TPS limit. So it's to increase that ceiling, but that increased ceiling is still fixed. Shardeum is attempting to create an elastic chain that is actually linearly scalable, meaning that it can scale up and down to meet the current network demand at the time. So it's not just a ceiling that is set up much higher. It's a ceiling that is flexible, that can go up and down depending on the current network demand. So there is actually no product like that in the market today. And so this is something that we've been striving to achieve for quite some time now. The underlying protocol has been under development since about 2016. So the tech team is super OG. Our founders, Mycel and Omar. Mycel is a serial entrepreneur out of India. He is the founder of WazirX, which is the largest crypto exchange in India. And Omar is our CTO. He is an veteran engineer from NASA. He is a distributed systems architect. So these two join forces and trying to create a linearly scale. And now leading on to Atomium. So with these sort of grand endeavors, this takes a lot of time, effort, resources, blood, sweat, and tears. And so, but we have been under development for quite some time, with facing challenges of how do you actually decentralize a large scale network when you have as many nodes running as Shardeum does. So for example, in order to run a Shardeum validator node, it is a super lightweight node, being that you don't need much hardware specs. A lot of nodes today with the bigger chains require significant hardware systems. So this actually rules out a lot of people participating, and actually can lead to more centralization with large mining facilities or large cloud providers. So Shardeum is attempting to solve this by actually decreasing that barrier to entry of hardware and expanding the surface area of more participants running validated nodes. So this is actually adds to further decentralization, but some of the problems that we face here is that when there are simply too many people running nodes, how do you actually have atomic composability? How do you make the network safe going out of state? So how do you approach this, right? So Atomium phase 1 right now, what we've done is we have split up our mainnet release into different phases. So phase 1 that just happened was to test the P2P simple transfers. How do you actually conduct swaps? How do you exchange tokens from one account to the other on a sharded network? So that was phase 1. We had some amazing results. We had, I think we had over 1.5 million transactions in just a week. So Atomium phase 1 was just 1 week open, where we wanted to test these things. And the goal wasn't to have no errors. So being that it's an incentivized testnet, the goal is to test the most core features, gather valuable feedback and data, and lead on to the next phase. So phase 1 was to test the P2P simple transfers. We had over 1.5 million transactions in the span of a week. We had participate from, I believe it was 20 different countries. And so shout out again, thank you everyone for participating, and our partners for helping us spread the word. So that was Atomium phase 1 that was completed. So right now the team is under deliberation and review of the data that has been collected. What kind of kinks and bugs need to be fixed ASAP, and to lead into Atomium phase 2. So in regards to Atomium phase 2, fortunately, I don't have any alpha on a date that's coming yet. That's finalized, but we are finalizing it right now. But Atomium phase 2, we will begin to test with our validated network and our partners as well. So stay tuned.
Phenomenal. Thanks for the deep overview. I have one last question as to where the team is in terms of size and location these days. I know you're super distributed and global. If I recall, you're over on one of the coasts of the US, and some of the team is in India and Dubai. How big is the team these days?
Right.
And where's the concentration?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Great question. So our team is actually quite big. We have about 70 people globally, and half, I would say No, it's about 40% based in the U.S. So I'm based in the U.S. I'm based in the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. And I have some team members based in New York. New York's great. New York's actually really great, but still West Coast, West Coast. We're still folks down in Texas, down south, and the rest of the team's actually in Europe. So we actually have a growing team out of London, Dubai, and the Middle East. And of course, you can't forget the other half of the team that's based in India.
Awesome. Yeah, you have to tread a bit lightly knowing that I, as a koala, am based here on the East Coast. East Coast is the Beast Coast, but I'll save my rhymes for another rhyme time. I think we're going to take the next question over to Ice Cream Swap. For all of our partners in the call, you may have seen that we sent some questions over yesterday, the day before. They're all kind of per partner, but we're going to mix it up and go back and forth, so keeping everybody on their toes. I'd like to dig a little bit deeper and talk to Ice Cream Swap about your security and efficient bridging. Going between blockchains is really important, and we're going to talk more about the benefits of coming from other blockchains onto Shardeum, which is super important because people are entering blockchains through swaps, purchasing through fiat on-ramps, through trading with their friends, P2P transfers. But how is Ice Cream Swap making it easier and secure to bridge between these blockchains? Could you give us a little overview of the tech you're using and the process for a user to make it really easy to do so?
Certainly. So let's first focus on the security aspect, because for bridging, this is bridging is super important that security is done right. We saw all these multi-billion-dollar bridge hacks and compromises in the past. So security is the number one priority for bridges, or it should at least be. And what we are doing there is we are working with an already very largely utilized and audited code base. We are working with the Chainbridge code base, which is from the Chain Safe team, which also created the Web3.js library, which basically every builder has at least used once in their Web3 journey. So yeah, that's a very experienced team that has built this bridge infrastructure that we are utilizing in terms of a code base. Then on top of all the audits that they already have done, we have then added 2 additional audits to this bridge, just to make sure that these smaller modifications that we did, these customizations that we did, are also completely secure and don't add any risk to the system. And then we are operating mostly our own RPC nodes, because this actually is a very big threat for bridges that not many people talk about. Everyone is talking about the decentralization of bridges themselves, but at the end, all these bridge providers often use the same RPC provider. And therefore, you maybe have a distributed or decentralized relayer network for a bridge, but all these relayers using the same RPC provider, and therefore at the end it's still centralized. And we are very aware of this, and instead of trying to hide it away, we simply run our own RPC nodes, and therefore we can ensure the security and don't rely on a third party, which essentially makes the bridge completely centralized on that third party. So that's about the security. About the usability, we have an any-to-any bridge. That means we don't have individual bridges always connecting 2 chains, but as soon as we add one chain or one new chain to our bridge, it automatically connects to all the other chains that are already connected. Currently, we support 13 chains on our bridge, including Binance Smart Chain, which is where most users are onboarding these other chains to. And once Shardeum mainnet goes live and our bridge will go live there, users will also be able to bridge from these 13 other chains, maybe by then even more, including Binance Smart Chain, to the Shardeum mainnet. And yeah, hopefully this will give everyone a very seamless onboarding experience to later the Shardeum mainnet. Yes.
You mentioned AI, and whenever people hear AI, they get excited, they get nervous, they get a bunch of different feelings. But when I hear AI mixed with something like swaps, I always wonder, how is the AI being introduced without compromising any side of security? I think even if your AI is far from things like ChatGPT, a lot of people still associate AI with hallucination or with, asking it to do a simple chess analysis and it telling you that you have 7 queens on the board. So I'd be interested to hear, how are you making sure you're introducing AI without the negative effects that we've heard so much about?
Yes. So what we are using AI for is basically to enhance the search algorithm. So if you take a look at a normal chain with normal Uniswap V2 based DEXs on it, you often have over 100,000 liquidity pairs. And what other DEX aggregators are doing is they take the top, let's say, 200 liquidity pairs, liquidity pools, and then do the aggregation through that. That is like a relatively simple task that you can simply crunch down. But if you want to aggregate all these 100,000 pairs and then even find like crazy routes involving like multiple hundred individual swaps, this is like completely impossible to compute in a brute force manner. And this is where we utilize AI. So we have an AI machine learning graph algorithm in the background, which basically utilizes the intuition that this AI generates to suggest which directions to explore in this graph. As a reference, there are more possibilities to do a single swap on a chain with like these 100,000 liquidity pools than there's atoms in the universe, right? So it's like an insane amount how many possibilities there are. And we can obviously not explore and compute all of them. And therefore, we utilize the power of AI and the kind of intuition of AI to check out which pools to explore. But at the end, the math is still math, right? It's not like AI generated. It's just like the AI suggests us like which directions we could swap that might be promising. But at the end, everything is being calculated. Right, so let's say we can make like 1 million calculations in the 100 milliseconds that our API needs. These 1 million calculations, the AI basically suggests like which of these 1 million of these like quadrillion or whatever calculations we should do. But at the end, it's still math, right? We are just using the AI to basically filter out which paths might be promising. But at the end, it's still math and it's very precise, actually. On top of that, we also simulate every swap before we basically return it from our aggregator API. That means when you see a swap in the user interface or some other project is utilizing our API, our AI DEX aggregator API, it's guaranteed that the swap that this API returns is executable in exactly the same manner, right? Because it is simulated. It's not just like a theory or an approximation. It is simulated, and the return values are 100% accurate at that moment they were returned.
Thank you for the really deep dive, answer to the question I was asking about AI. I'd love to take this question that was initially also about security and bring it over to push protocol. We're talking about so many different blockchains communicating with each other in terms of swaps and financial transactions and different moves you can make with smart accounts and more. I'd love to hear about the human aspect of it, a Web3 communication layer. If you're just joining us, push protocol that provides notification. You mentioned chat, and even if I'm right, video services to decentralized applications. I'd love to hear more about how you're keeping it super secure, factoring blockchain and still making it really easy for the user to get the advantage of everything you're offering.
Sure, definitely. So one of the thing is, let's try to assume or see how notification, chat and video is a part of our daily life. I guess even when we wake up, most of the information that we get from anywhere is usually the notification that pops up into our mobile, right? Now, as I screenshot talk about it, even a lot of other protocols and other web apps, other dApps. For example, I am basically dealing with a lot of DeFi protocols. At the same time, I'm also dealing with NFT marketplaces or XYZ things over the Web3 ecosystem. So as a Web3 native user, it's very, very hard for us or me to identify what things are happening and how those things are happening at different blockchain, first of all. Second is at on which dApp, which things are happening. For example, my loan is about to get liquidated at one of the dApp, right? Or one of the DeFi protocol. Or let's say my ENS name is going to get expired. So one of the key aspects that we usually follow is to provide the notification not only for the different decentralized application, but at the same time onto the different network also. For example, you can let's say like if my DeFi dApp is Ethereum, Polygon, Optimism, Shardeum, or like 5 more chains native, then I can get all those notification at one place over the push protocol, right? Not only the notification, but also the chat and video, which are like chain agnostic, that you can, define any chain ID or like chain network over there. Talking about the security aspect of it is one of the key point while designing the protocol, and we have kept in mind is that uh, any spam notification can leads to the bad user experience. So we have designed the protocol in a manner that users have to opt in to the channel, which is usually the protocol or the dApp or something that is going to send notification. For example, let's say ice cream protocol wants to send notification to the users for any trade or anything that happens over there. So it will create a channel on push protocol, and then only users if opt into that specific channel, they'll be able to receive notification. Anything beyond that will go to the spam folder. So that kinds of enhances the UI. That means if user is providing the consent to receive the notification or any essential information, then only they'll be able to get all those data or information into their ecosystem. And one key point over here is that the protocol is a platform agnostic. So the worry about receiving those notification only on dApp, mobile, or anywhere else is not there. You can receive those notification, chat, and everything everywhere, as this is platform agnostic. And not only this, but also if we talk about the core level of the architecture, we have push nodes and delivery nodes. Delivery nodes can be run by anyone, and in very layman terms, without going deep dive into the technical aspect of it, it is basically used to provide or it is used to deliver the notification into every devices or everywhere. So as a protocol, if you wanted to take control of sending those notification and everything, that you don't need to provide data anywhere. So you can run your own delivery node and it can send notification over there. Similarly, if we just talk about the push chat or push video, those are like end-to-end encrypted, and there is a PGP keys that is generated when you are initializing the user, and everything is encrypted over there in terms of sending and receiving the text. So this is, of course, very high level eagle view of what push protocol do as a protocol, and of course side on the security layer. But more thing over there, you can always explore the docs, or feel free to join the Discord or ask us.
Awesome.
Yep, that's it.
Well, then I'd love to take it to Mycel and hear a bit more about what you mentioned as a transferable account. So I think we all know what a standard blockchain account is, and maybe you can give a brief overview of what a transferable account is, and then we could dig into some of the developments and features you're bringing live with these different accounts and how you're solving problems here.
Sure. Actually, we are focusing on transferable account. We call it TA. This is a very new approach. Mycel's transferable account specialized account structure designed to facilitate secure cross-chain asset management and transfers. It operates using 2 multi-signature mechanisms, allowing both users and validators to collectively control the account. This design enhances security and decentralization, ensure that no single party can entirely manage the account or its assets. Transferable accounts serve as a gateway for interacting with native assets on any chain, such as Ethereum-based account-based chain and Bitcoin-based UTXO-based chains. And transferable accounts can be accessed and utilized from any chains using callback functions. This allows for seamless asset transfers and interactions between smart contract or roll-ups on different chains. The buying and selling of accounts tied to specific activities involve designing an account activity marketplace where buyers and sellers can directly interact to buy and sell or trade transferable accounts. This enables parties to discover new trading opportunity and negotiate prices in a decentralized manner. This is a very quite new approach. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks for the answer. I think we'll take it back to Shardeum and we'll talk about a few of the concepts that we just mentioned here. We talked about security. We're all building these decentralized technologies. And I think that one of the things we'll also cover that's in the blockchain trilemma is scalability. Can you give us a little bit about how Shardeum takes the issue of scalability on as a problem with its own solution, and how Shardeum has developed around scalability in the past years, seeing other blockchains in the space?
Absolutely. Thanks again, Kobe, and great to hear from everyone. Love the expansive explanations and just great to hear what you guys have been building. So to address the scalability trilemma, meaning security, decentralization, and scalability. I don't know if you guys have actually seen our new merch recently, but we've actually been creating these Shardeum designs. So this is a kind of our new original IP brand direction that we're taking, where we designed these Pokemon-esque looking dinosaur characters to represent the three trilemmas. So for scalability, we have a T-Rex. For security, we have like a giant turtle, and decentralization, we have a bunch of bats holding the Shardeum logo. It's a really cool design that we've been working on. So this is how kind of we're approaching the scalability trilemma, meaning that you cannot forego one for the other. So when it comes to this, a lot of projects have been sacrificing either scalability or decentralization. So if you sacrifice scalability, what you have is you have a super decentralized network, but you have super high gas fees and low transaction speeds. Sound familiar? Yes, that's Ethereum. And if you prioritize scalability over decentralization, you have a centralized network, but a super fast one. Won't mention names here, but you can kind of get the idea of what is more of a centralized blockchain. So this is kind of what's out of the market right now. People are either sacrificing decentralization or scalability. But in reality, if we actually want to enable mass adoption meaning that onboarding people to actually use these decentralized Web3 technologies beyond just the speculation and coin mania frenzy that's been going on right now, you actually need to create the stage. You need to set the stage to actually allow these new developers to come on board and build these applications. So from ECC, a lot of feedback that I've been getting is that there's simply just so much infra out there, but not actual consumer apps, usable applications that people would actually want to use. What is the actual Web3 app that you're using on your day-to-day? So this is like the primary problem that people seem to be really focused on. And I think this is a really good direction for the industry to focus more on consumer applications that actually bridge this gap between Web3 and Web2. But I don't want to get off too sidetracked here, but what I'm trying to say when it comes to the scalability trilemma is that you cannot forego one for the other. And so Shardeum's approach has been trying to establish a holistic to allow each of the components a stage to do the thing that they're meant to do. And so how we're solving this is with a lightweight node structure for more decentralization, and scalability we are solving with our linear scalable network solution.
Fantastic. Well, you're absolutely right that we need to be focused on the consumer problems. And I think that's a great question we can actually ask every single person here from the project of, tell us exactly what problem for the consumer. Describe the consumer going through their day and encountering an area where they're going to be using your infrastructure, your application, your decentralized solution. And we'll start with Ice Cream Swap. I just want you to give me the day in the life of Kobe from the Koala team, who might find himself using an AI DEX aggregator like yours.
Yes. If I understood the question correctly, as a user of Ice Cream Swap, You're basically, you're connecting with your wallet with multiple possibilities of wallet, obviously including Koala Wallet. You're connecting to iSchoolSwap. There you have your assets still stored in your wallet, and when you want to do a swap, you sign your transaction, which can be, thanks to account abstraction wallets, account abstraction batched transaction, or traditional EVM transactions. And with that, you swap your tokens. One token basically gets sent, and you immediately receive the other token in the same transaction for it. This also makes it atomic. That means if you don't receive the other token, you also don't send your one token. Other than this, you can also use the bridge to bridge between the different networks. You can later use the Launchpad to participate in different launching projects. But the central part is always how you connect with your wallet to iSchoolSwap, because this is where actually your tokens and your assets are stored. They are never stored at iSchoolSwap. As we are a decentralized protocol, you're just interacting with our smart contracts, but the assets stay in your control in your wallet.
And now, that makes a lot of sense to me, but do you think that in the future you're going to be developing features and tools that are going to add to this functionality, or building either on the AI side to make it easier to do swaps and trades automatically, or where do you see this technology being taken in the next few months and maybe in the next few years?
Yeah, I think especially with the account abstraction capabilities, quite crazy things are possible, right? Because traditionally, it was not really possible to, for example, integrate an AI with such a system, at least not without giving that AI direct access to your private key, or still having to sign the transactions, right? But with account abstraction and with wallets directly integrating advanced capabilities, like there's no real reason why, for example, doing a swap should not be doable through a chatbot integration, right? You simply tell like a chatbot that you want to buy a certain token. Maybe it asks you how much of it you want to buy and with which token. And then you do it. This could also be a Telegram integration. Does not even have to be in the web. This can be a Discord integration, right? Like all these crazy things are now possible. And I think we are just starting to get like this very beginning, these glimpses of the possibilities, because like a whole new space of opportunities have basically opened up. And no one even has really thought about like the details, what you can do with it, right? We are just like standing at this door, and once we go through it, like only then we will see like the huge amount of things that we can do with this new technology.
Absolutely.
Right now we can only like watch through this door frame and see a tiny amount or a tiny space of the room that's behind it, basically.
We love to hear from projects who are solving issues today and thinking about how those issues and problems are going to, evolve in the future, and how their solutions will move right alongside of them. Those are the projects I personally like to invest in, and I know those are the projects that Shardeum is welcoming and ushering into their growing ecosystem. For any of our other projects here, you can kind of guess what I'm going to ask, and I'm going to take it to Push Protocol next. I'd love to hear about the user flow, what users might be encountering that you're fixing directly. Since we have so many people just joining now at the AMA, Push Protocol, maybe you can tell us about the issue someone might be facing currently or in past crypto times, and how you've solved it. And then we're going to take it after that into your future and what you might expect in the months and the years ahead for your team.
Superb. So I guess there are like two major aspects, like the notification and chat, because video is integrated in the chat itself. So as a first process, of course, it's connecting the wallet, where we have like a variety of wallet through you can connect with. Once you are able to connect your wallet, then there are different channels. As I said, right? Try to visualize this how YouTube works, right? In YouTube, you have a different channels, and for example, you wanted to receive notification of some of the channel that you want to subscribe, or you really like. So you basically go to that specific channel and subscribe that, and then you usually receive the notification and get the updates of those specific channel in the YouTube. Similarly, in the push protocol, once you have connected your wallet, also alternatively, we just have a view only option in case you don't want to connect your wallet, or you don't want to, sign in. You just want to explore the dApp. So there is only a view only mode where you can explore the dApp. But of course, to take any action, again, there is a pop-up to connect your wallet, right? Coming back to the topic, as I mentioned in the flow of a YouTube, because one of the thing that we have learned is human are basically, prone to changes. If you kind of follow the same approach, what they used to, it is much easier to get them on board, right? So I think most of us are using YouTube. We have that ideology. Okay, if we are going to subscribe this channel, we'll get notification or those videos and all those content like in a much faster pace. Similarly, on the push protocol, if you see, there are different channels. What I mean by channels are like different protocols who wanted to send notification, provide updates or something. For example, there will be a channel of Aave, Lens, Koala Wallet, or like a lot of protocols, right? And once user go to the opt-in, which is synonym to the subscribe of YouTube. So you click on the opt-in, there is a signature that needs to be done. And the good or the cool part about this is there is no gas fee involved in this. That is basically, this is an off-chain signature that is stored in the push nodes, which are decentralized in a way. So once they are able to opt into the channels, then whenever there is a notification sent by the channel, user gets those notification into their dApp mobile application. As I said, because it is platform agnostic, so they can get this notification everywhere. Similarly, there is a user flow of push chat. Again, you have to sign in. But we have one more cool feature, remember me. So once, let's say you have connected your dApp, push dApp or push chat, then, and if you also opt into that remember me button, then you don't have to, necessarily sign in every time when you connect to the dApp. It basically remember the details and the signature. Again, that is totally on your machine. We are not taking anything on our side. And then once that is done, the PGP keys are generated, and through the encryption, every message that you are sending or receiving is totally encrypted in a form. So I think the basic user flow in a sense is connect your wallet, opt into the channel you are interested in, you wanted to receive notification or anything. Once you are opted in, voila, you are able to, receive those notifications. Similarly, goes to the chat, just to reduce the friction, we have that remember me option. And once you are able to do that, you can easily chat with the other addresses or group seamlessly without, having a hassle of signing every message at every time. So this is like a basic user flow of how push protocol do.
And now I think you mentioned a little bit briefly of how that might evolve, but do you plan additional services or additional interchain features that you'll be launching this year or that are a bit further off? Hey folks, can you hear me all right? All right, I think we do have audio.
Oh, sorry. I think, yeah, I just went on mute.
No
So
worries.
yeah. So I think one of the features that we are working on is the delivery or the decentralized nodes. Most of you might have heard of Push Alpha NFT Access. Like I'll tell you about that more. But coming back to the topic, our team is majorly working towards the decentralization of nodes. I think the teaser or the initial part of that has been launched 2 months back. There was a live stream done by the engineers of the push protocol. You can go over there and see how those whole thing is working. But continuing the aim of the decentralized nodes, like most of the efforts are going towards that. And not only that, like as I said, push nodes have two kinds of nodes. One is the storage nodes and the delivery nodes. Delivery nodes as of now is, again, independent of us. That is, anyone can run those delivery nodes. And second part of the decentralization goes to the storage nodes and the processing nodes. So, that is something our team is currently working on. And again, there are like a lot of small features, mostly towards the user experience and, gamification of the communication layer that we are working on. I think I cannot talk about that much, but the one hint I can give you is try to visit app.push.org or staging.push.org. If you are a regular user, you might find few of the small changes in the DApp itself that we have recently pushed. So maybe, try to communicate with us over a Discord or anywhere. We'll be happy to assist you. But yeah, these are the major changes that we are currently working on.
Now, before we move on here, I want to ask a little bit more of something you just mentioned, these push alpha access NFTs. How do you get one? What do they really allow you to access, and how can people go and grab one right now? Are they available?
So, yeah, so I think this is really interesting as this push NFT alpha access has been associated with a lot of rewards. And how to get one, this is, there is a Galaxy campaign that we were running off. So go to the, push protocol page on the Galaxy campaign. And over there, you have to perform few of the tasks through which you can get this push alpha access NFT. But not only this, eventually we will be launching few more, giveaway for this NFT access pass. I think we have already kind of gave away like a lot of NFTs. Only like few of the sections of those are left. But eventually, like one of the process I have already told you, go to the Galaxy campaign. But other processes is majorly, tune in with push protocol Twitter or like X account, and you'll get more info over there. But right now it's majorly on this Galaxy campaign. And we have also launched something called BRB Bootcamp. I think over there, like we have selected around 7,200 students, and those will be getting. So similarly, like, there are few other activities where we are doing this giveaway of NFT access, alpha NFT access. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, if you're here listening in live, you're already doing a great job of staying engaged with the team. And I'd absolutely ask that you go and check out all the partners here in the AMA today. Now, I have another question. You are the head of ecosystem, if that's right, over at your firm. Is that right?
Yep.
And now, Kohei, I think you're also in a similar role. You work mostly a lot with the projects that you're working with in your project. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was asking Kohei, but we'll get him on in a second. I guess what I'm leading to is actually a question for Tyler. And Tyler, I'd love to hear, since you work so closely with all these different ecosystem projects for about a year and a half now, where is the shift in both, in your mind, the builders? Where are the builders really going towards in this space? Is it real world assets? Is it communication layer? And these DeFi tools? And where is Shardeum really focusing their efforts? If you're a builder today, what might you want to start playing around with, so that you might be one of those people in this incentivized testnet building an app that consumers will be using on the Shardeum network?
Okay, that's a great question. Yeah, and thank you again, Push, Protocol, Mycel, Escusum, all you guys sharing all these great answers and what you guys are so passionately building. Love to hear it. So to answer your question, this is also like really interesting to consider. Like, what is actually going to be the unlock, and where are actually developers focused on? So Shardeum, the approach that we're taking is that because we're focused on expanding emerging marketplaces, people where the dollar price goes much higher. So how do we actually level the playing field? How do we lower the barrier to entry? When it comes to actual use cases today within crypto, I think the biggest use case today is with stable coins. And stable coins really does help. I actually had a really good conversation with someone in Hong Kong who told me that when their colleague was in a national crisis due to a European situation, they had their local currency value was dropping so fast that they were losing their fiat valuation in real time. And so what this person had told this person who's non-crypto was, exchange all your local currency to stablecoin USDC right now. And so that's what they did. So they swapped it to USDC, And so they actually saved themselves from that fiat valuation drop. And so I think that right there is an incredible example of how stablecoins are actually being used and how they can be utilized when in a world where there's a lot of uncertainty. Inflation is crazy. Macros are unpredictable as always. But to have a solution that can actually, quote unquote, like knock on wood, that USDC doesn't unpeg, but I think that's an incredible use case of how people in emerging marketplaces and just these where fiat currency is very volatile to actually utilize stablecoins and withhold and contain some of that value for themselves. So with that in mind, I think we are also like working on a very major partnership to enable stablecoins on Shardeum. So hint there. But so I think that's an angle that we would love to push or encourage developers to focus on. How do we actually utilize stablecoins more? How do we make the on-ramp and off-ramp of stablecoins easier for people in these emerging marketplaces? And how can we do more things with stablecoin payments? I think that if we're really thinking about like how do we actually quickly get to adoption and bring more people on board, I think that might be a really interesting problem to consider. But when it comes to what I'm actually seeing within our ecosystem marketplace today is a lot of tweaks and innovation, smaller or small innovations of improvements and iterations when it comes to NFT marketplaces, launch pads. And as we see with the meme coin frenzy right now, I've been seeing a lot of developers also trying to create new consumer applications that utilize meme coins as well. So I think this is also a really interesting direction of how memes, albeit a lot is entrenched in the degen mania, but how are some teams actually utilizing the growth engine of memes to create new applications? I think that's something interesting that I've been observing as well.
You know, I first got into crypto through Dogecoin back in 2013. I guess one of the, if not the first, for sure, meme coins of crypto. And I actually really like this meme coin dip that a lot of people are taking from the consumer market, whereas opposed to 2017 when they'd come and invest in an ICO and watch their money kind of get just taken away and scammed. People are making investments that they know are going to be volatile. They know they might lose their $20 into dogcoinpoop.com. They understand this, and they're still getting a taste of using a wallet, using a communication layer, exploring a new chain like Solana or one of the better ones like Shardeum. And so that's really been exciting to see that change from retail consumers getting screwed over to actually becoming educated and excited to engage with more than just memes, but go from the transition from a Solana meme coin into something like Solana or one of these real blockchains with some assets that are really pushing the limit of what it can do with traditional finance systems today. Folks, we're getting close to the end of our AMA here, but I would like to give every project an opportunity to give us the one-line pitch again, to tell us why people should check out what they're building and how they can get involved in the process. And before we do that, I'll give you one more hint that you can win over $50 worth of Ethereum and swag, $50 of ICE from Ice Cream Swap, 20 push alpha passes are being given away in NFTs from Push Protocol, and another $50 in USDT from Mycel. There's millions of different combinations, technically, of you to win in our giveaway that we're doing that you can find on our Twitter, which is going to be pinned to the space right now once I figure out just how to do that. And in that time, I'd love if we can go in the order of Mycel, Ice Cream Swap, and I have the order right here. Mycel, Ice Cream Swap, and Push Protocol. And then we'll round it out with Shardeum, and I'll give a final closer from Koala of just the one-liner of why we should check out what you're building, how we can get involved today as a community member, and if there's anything else you want to mention before we hop off. I guess, Kohei, take it away. It is possible that Kohei is currently indisposed, so I think, Pranchu, if you could start the party again, I'd love if you could just give one final line about Push Protocol.
Sure. As I said, like Push Protocol is a Web3 communication layer of Web3. So just imagine this, like, waking up without any notification, any information, what's happening in the world is similarly like, waking up without receiving what's happening in the Web3 space is what if you miss out the Push Protocol. So if you wanted to, communicate as a social animal, Push Protocol is here for you.
And where can people engage socially with you? On Twitter, on Discord? Where's the best place for someone to start their journey in the Push Protocol ecosystem?
I think best way is, like, if you are a developer, please join us Discord. We are happy to help you over there. But again, we are also very active over the X or Twitter. So feel free to DM or tag us, or maybe you can DM any of us, the team member. But Discord is the best way to join and ask for help.
Fantastic. I think we'll take it to Ice Cream Swap next. What are you building? Just tell us again, and where can people find you?
Okay, so yeah, we find you the best swap to make your trades and stop wasting your money by using Ice Cream Swap. Also, you can every user can find us on our Twitter, which is where we are talking from right now, but also our Telegram, where you can directly talk with me and the rest of the Ice Cream Swap team and a lot of great community members. So yeah, take a look at our Telegram and become active part of the Ice Cream Swap community.
Phenomenal. And Kohei, are you back from Mycel team?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm back.
fantastic.
Sorry.
You'll have the same question.
Yeah, actually, we make it easy to exchange native BTC for native tokens on our chains with minimal gas fees and time. Please follow us on Twitter and join our Discord to stay updated with the latest information. And yeah, we have a big announcement soon. Yeah, thanks.
Big announcement from Ice Cream Swap. Very exciting to hear. And finally, Tyler, before you give your wrap up, I'd like to mention that one of my favorite parts of this job of working at Koala Wallet is being able to stay connected and talk on a pretty high level to so many different projects over the past 2 or 3 years, maybe 200 or 300 in total that I've had conversations about what they're building and bringing to market. Some of them only actually being able to bring those developments in recent months or yet to come. Tyler, I'd love to hear from your side. What's been your favorite part about working at Shardeum? Working with your team and these ecosystem projects, and where can people best jump into the Shardeum ecosystem?
Awesome. Okay, thank you again, Kobe and everyone. Thank you, Kobe. You've done an amazing job moderating, and everyone for sharing these amazing answers and coming on board for this hour to share and celebrate the progress that we've made so far. And I will actually echo your sentiment of the best part of what we do is just the fact that we can connect and work with builders of similar mindsets all across the world. It's like now it feels like we've unlocked this global network by just participating in Web3 at the scale that we are. And I think that is tremendously valuable to be able to connect with like-minded folks all around the world. So that's been the biggest blessing for sure. And I think for next steps, one thing I want to mention for people to get involved with Shardeum is, of course, yes, connect with our handles. Our ITN, the Atomium Phase 2 will be announced soon. So please keep all your tabs on that. But one thing that you can actually take a look at right now is that we've actually launched our Bug Bounty program with Immunify. So we actually are giving out $700,000 in boosts. So we have 700K in Bug Bounty rewards ready to give out on Immunify. So if you or someone you know wants to take a stab, find some bugs and get earned, do some code to earn, please check out our Bug Bounty program. We have 2 programs going out right now. One is with a price pool of 500K and the other was 200K. So if you're a dev, if you want to, if you've been waiting for the signal to actually become a dev, this is your sign. So yeah, check it out and stay tuned for more.
This AMA has been fantastic. So many ways to earn money, to swap your money, to transfer your money, to get involved with different ways to communicate with your friends, with different companies and projects building, and much more. We're so excited to be good partners with Shardeum, who are building a chain really for the future after spending years and years watching this space grow and change and seeing the issues that others encountered and saying, hey, instead of jumping in right now trying to grab people's money, let's build something that's going to work today, work tomorrow, and work in 20, 30 years. That's the mindset that they brought to us when we started partnering and talking about working together 2 years ago. And I'll tell you something, they've made good on it ever since then. So we're really excited to have more of these AMAs, to watch them grow as a company in blockchain, and to bring all these projects into Koala Wallet, where we will never compromise on user security, privacy, anonymity, and ease of use. We're available on iOS, Android, and extension. Go leave a 5-star review if you're a user right now. If not, download, be a user, and you leave a 5-star review because you'll love it. Thank you so much for everyone's time today in the AMA, both our users and everyone joining the partners on your Twitters today. We at Koala will be reaching out very shortly as to how you can get your swag box that we're going to be sending through. And if you're listening in chat and want a cute Koala cuddly t-shirt, give me a DM. We'll get you a discount code so you can get one super cheap on our shop, swag.koalawallet.io. Thank you to my great team here, my co-hosts, Mycel and Barbara, some of our team listening like Brendan and others from Koala. I see names from Shardeum like Anton and others in the chat too. and take it easy. Stay koalaing along, and we'll see you again in the next AMA. Thanks, everyone.
That wraps up another amazing AMA. We hope that you found the information helpful and informative. Don't forget to follow us on social media for the latest updates and news on all things Koala Wallet. Until next time, have a great day and take care.